What's going on, guys? Kivox here, and welcome to a new wand review. I'm not sure exactly how many wands we're gonna go over today, but I'm gonna save a few of my favorites for the very end. So hopefully you guys end up liking this. Hopefully you guys learn a little bit from this, get inspired by some of your fellow wand makers slash creators slash Harry Potter fans out there, and we can all make some cool wands. If you don't already know what this video is, we go over some of your creations. You guys send them to this email address. I receive them. There's a few rules, so follow the rules down below on how to submit and basically what the rules are. They're down below, whatever. And what happens is I choose some of my favorites and some of my least favorites, and I tell you guys what the problems are with some, why I liked some other ones, things that you may want to avoid when trying to create something, or just kind of like that. Like I said before, review them. Few things though I want you guys to know is that I am pretty brutally honest with my opinion on your wands. So if you're gonna get offended, please don't. Just shut up and watch the video. Hopefully enjoy it. I feel like I'm not too brutal. I feel like it's okay. If I don't like something, I'm not gonna be like, you suck. So just so you guys know, this is gonna be quite a long video. Maybe it's gonna be a good amount. It's gonna be like a full episode of Dragon Ball. We have quite a plethora of wands to go over today, and I'm not even going over all of them, so there will be more of these videos coming out. So I'm just warning you guys now that you may want to grab a snack, maybe dinner, pause this video and just hang in there. This wand was submitted by Chris, and Chris is a tattoo artist that has been drawing a lot of Celtic knots lately. Basically, he decided, he's like, you know what? I've been drawing a lot of these things lately, so I'm gonna just make a wand out of it, because that is the logical next step. You're making tattoos, drawing tattoos, and then you're like, you know what? The logical next step would be to make a wand. Duh. That's obvious. Why would we do anything else? Anyway, yeah, I do like the wand. It's a cool wand. So let's go over it for a sec. I like the overall look of it. I love the idea. I like the thicker handle. I would have tried to just either taper it sooner, because right now it just kind of looks like a vampire stake, you know? To take out a vampire, but like you got like a fancy one. You got like that extra special fancy one. It's a shorter wand. I would have probably made it a little bit longer if I was gonna make the handle that fat, just so that it looks thinner. The fatter you make a handle and the shorter the wand is, the more just fat and short it's gonna look. So if you're gonna have a really fat handle, you may wanna increase the length, overall length. If you have a really skinny handle, you can go smaller and it won't be as weird. There isn't much to say about this next wand. It was submitted by Steve Knight, which that name though is that's a pretty good name. I wish my last name was Knight. Actually, Kivox Knight. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be cool. So it's made out of rosewood. I like the simple arch to it, the little bit of engravings on the handle and the pommel for the most part. And then it looks like you dremeled it or carved out some little grooves on there. Looks good. I would like to know how long it is. Not really much to say there. No really backstory on the wand itself. But it's a pretty nice wand. I like your purple background. This next one was submitted by Corey Benson, and it is quite a simple design, but done in a very nice way. I'm not sure if there's any sort of finish on it. It's just a nice little piece of a branch with the bark ripped off and sanded down a bit to make it nice and smooth. It's a really cool shape. It's very Count Dooku-esque for his lightsaber style, and I like it. It's a nice simple design. It's hard to find a thick enough piece of wood slash thin enough piece of wood. The right size branch is hard to find sometimes. Sometimes you find them, they're too fat, people try to carve them down, then it just doesn't look as good. Or you get one that's too skinny and then it just looks like a twig, which we do have a wand coming up that is kind of like that. But this one, I think, came out great. As you can see, the way that you hold it is more of like, kind of like you're pointing something. So as opposed to holding it like this, or, you know, like this, it's more of a, you're holding it like a gun almost, son. Obviously, this wand is perfectly straight, so I can't really demonstrate it perfectly, but you get the picture. This next wand was submitted by Laser, and you submitted 2 different ones, and they're the same wand except one is painted and one is not. I personally really like how it looks unpainted, without all the black on it, because you can't really see and it's too shiny. Not a big fan of extremely glossy paint jobs, so I'm gonna just talk about this one for now. It looks like it's gonna be really fragile, so it's gonna be definitely a display wand, something that you're gonna put away and just look at it and be like, oh, that looks good. But I do love the elegance of the design and the simplicity of the design. You obviously did a decent amount of sanding there to get everything nice and smooth and rounded off and just flowing from one end to the other end. Looks good. Definitely what I would have done if I wanted a darker color, I would have probably gone with a darker stain, like a walnut stain or something like that. It looks like you used paint on your other one. So for future, try to maybe stay away from the painting and maybe try the try the staining. Maybe a little bit better. You can still see some of the grain. It'll pop out. It'll give it a little bit more contrast between what the design that you put in, as opposed to it just looking completely flattened and black. Now we have a submission from Hakan from Turkey. You know who you are. Don't even try, all right? This one's interesting because there's a couple of different drawings here. Let's start off with this one, this very complex design here. It's really cool. It doesn't have a very Harry Potter feel to it, but it's really like Final Fantasy-esque. I like it. The design itself is really cool. I don't think it would work for the Harry Potter style designs, but I really like the drawing. Looks super cool. I like all the different angle details and stuff. Great artwork. And now let's jump over to my favorite one of your submissions, and that's gonna be this guy right here. So we have 2 wands in this picture. The black one is really interesting and cool, and I'm wondering how big it is. It kind of reminds me of a sword, somewhat like a fencing sword. What are those called? Foils, like a foil. It kind of has that guard where it protects your hand, and it has a super skinny blade, and that's kind of what it reminds me of. It looks cool. It would be fairly simple, I'm saying. Still somewhat difficult to make on the lathe, but that's a pretty cool one. I do like that. And the fact that you have the bottom being flat, maybe you could put a piece of metal there or something like that. That may be kind of a cool idea for something there. And now this other one kind of reminds me of one of my older wands that I made. I really like it. I always like twisty wands, you know, like a little bit, but it's nice and simple. Still has that little curl. Okay, so if you guys don't know, I absolutely love like spirals in things. I just like love it. I think it looks great. It's really hard to get it right though on a wand sometimes, but I love spirals. Just something about them aesthetically. I really like, and just looks really good. And then there's this weird design you drew on the end of the handle going into the pommel, which I don't really understand if it wraps or if it's just grooves like cut out, like triangular grooves cut out, because that's kind of cool too. Or if it's not cut out but just kind of cut in and then painted black inside. I'm gonna go with that last one. I think I got that right. I really like that design too. And then let's move on to your final design, which is gonna be, I'm gonna mostly focus on this the snitch wand, which is, it's an interesting idea. It wouldn't work in real life with the actual wings itself. If you could maybe get like the snitch itself and put it on the end where you have the ball thing at the end, that would be kind of awesome if that would work. Without the wings out, obviously, it in its closed position with the wings in, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I love like crazy ideas like this. This is what triggers people to have other ideas, and I can see that you were kind of working out some stuff. It looks like you have a wand that's shaped like a broom in there too. So nice job. Create, like, you just got to think outside the box sometimes, you know. So I appreciate your thinking outside the box, crazy ideas. Crazy isn't always bad, guys. It's not always bad. Sometimes it is. This submission was by Craig, and I'm gonna right off the bat, I'm not a big fan of the idea of it. Not a big fan of like gaudy crystal diamonds and stuff like that. So according to you, all those little circles and colors are supposed to be like jewels. I'm guessing like crystals, like colored crystals, glitter. I don't know, but it's too much for me. It's too colorful. Not to say that it's not a decent design. It is a decent design. I don't think that the big diamond on the end would look good. So there's a couple of things there that I don't love. But hey, if you like it, it's all that really matters. It would be your wand, so it doesn't matter what other people really think. I just feel like the crystal diamond idea is one. It's kind of like a lot of people think of that. Just so you guys know, I've seen a bunch of submissions that just have like, hey, I put a diamond at the end of it. Check it out. Looks pretty good, right? Pretty original. But you'd be surprised at how many people come up with like a very similar idea. I've never seen the spiral rainbow crystals before. That's new. So nice job there. Thinking outside the box. There's really not a lot going on with the rest of the wand, and I feel like that component of the wand is not enough to carry the wand. This next one's kind of interesting. It was submitted by Tyler. Obviously, the first thing that we see is this little silver pommel end here, which looks very interesting. And then you read the description, and it says that it is pewter melted and inserted into the pommel. Super cool, dude. I like it. I did something very similar to that to my my remake. This is my remake of my Pottermore wand. You can see it has that same feel. Man, this thing is dusty. You can see it has that same feel as the Pottermore wands, except, you know, got some different things going on here. This one was hand carved as well, and you can see we got a little bit of some solder in there. That's actually not pewter, it's solder, but it has a really low melting point, so I didn't really have to get it super hot to get it in there. So then I put it in there. It was obviously popping out a little bit, and then I just sanded it down to get it to be kind of flush and looking good. Back to Tyler's wand. All right? I'm pulling attention away from you guys and showing off my stuff when I should be talking about yours. So the design is really cool. It seems like it's a simple, nice, straight, traditional style wand. Nice and straight. We got a little bit of a tie in there. The pewter is basically the big appeal there. It's the nicest part of the wand. It's the thing that looks the coolest, and I like it. I think it's a simple, beautiful, probably nice and pommel heavy design. So therefore, I don't know what happened to my voice halfway through this video. I really like this wand. I think it's simple. It's just two different types of wood, a little bit of metal, a little bit of rope tie, whatever you want to call it there, probably a little bit of glue. And it looks good. It just, you guys don't ever have to go crazy about your wands, even though this is a little bit on the advanced side because of that metal in there. You know, you got some craziness going on there, boy. Remember a little bit earlier when I was like, there's a wand that's like a twig coming up. Well, here we have it. We're here, guys. We made it to this part of the video. This wand was submitted by Scene. So they asked to be called, all right? I'm not making that up. That's what they asked to be called. Pump the brakes. Interesting thing about this one is that the way that you're supposed to hold it is the smaller end in your hand and the fatter end is the blade, which is, you know, not conventional whatsoever. The thing that I don't like about it is that it's a twig with an end a little bit carved and maybe stained. Maybe sanded a little bit. I'm not even sure. It looks pretty cool in your hand. Okay, I'm gonna give you that. I think holding it, but then when you look closely, it just looks like a twig. I feel like maybe if you just carved in a little bit of something, maybe on the blade or on the handle, it would look less like just a twig, because it's kind of what it is. It's just a twig right now that is kind of broken. I mean, the end is also just looks like it was broken and it wasn't like actually carved or sanded. So I would say, you know, don't do that. I know it's your first wand, so you get a pass from me this one time, okay? All right, but I'm watching you. The next one better not be a twig. These next few wands were submitted by Mr. Arm Meanies. I'm hoping I'm getting it right, man. Okay, so let's look at this this big picture here. One, they definitely have the feel of the same person made all of them. They definitely have that feel. So one thing that I always try to do with my wands is I always try to, if you look at all of my wands, I try to not connect any to the other. So if you see 5 of my wands, you shouldn't think like, oh, they were all made by the same person, unless you know that the same person made all of them. I try to not have a specific style, which isn't exactly a good thing. It could be a bad thing, because if you have a style, then you can get really, really good at that style. So it's not really, like I said, it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just what I decide to do, what I chose to do with my wands. Your wands all pretty much look the same. It's a lot harder though to work with the same type of wood or even branches and stuff like that. I'm not sure what all of your different types of woods are that you're using, but a few of them look like they're the same, and you definitely have the same handle for a few of them, the same thing going on. They're very, very organic, which is good and bad. It all depends on what you're going for. I would say that they're all right. They're not the best wands I've ever seen. You definitely have room for improvement, unless you're 100% happy with them, because again, it's all subjective. All of these opinions are subjective. So some people may look at these and say, these are the best I've ever seen in my freaking extremely short life. And then some people may hate them. You know, you really, it's like music. Wands are like music, subjective as. I would say my best advice for you, Mr. Arm Meanies, is to just step out of your comfort zone and try something different. I feel like that's my advice for the day. My advice for the day. Caleb submitted this wand, and here's what I like about it, is that he was going for a ebony wood look, and I don't believe he actually used ebony. He must have used just something else, whatever he had available. And I strongly recommend you guys doing the same thing. If you can't get the specific type of wood that you want, don't stress out about it. Just get whatever you have and make your wand. You could always, you know, stain it or paint it. It looks like that's what he did. He painted some of this wand, which I actually like. I like the style. This is a very traditional style wand. It's pretty much just a extended triangle with a little bit of a pommel and a wrap and a little bit of some gold something on there. I'm not sure if that's paint or if what it is. I can't tell by the image. It's not big enough. Quality of the image isn't big enough, so can't really tell. But I do like the dirty look of the wand, the paint, and you probably scraped some of that paint off. You guys have to be creative when you're coming up with stuff, because if you can't get a certain type of wood but you want that look, you know, like I said, you could dye it. So there's a lot of different techniques for changing colors of the wood. I would just recommend just getting a stain, or if you want to do a more dirty look like this wand, you know, this wand's dirty, I would go with the paint. Just get like a spray paint, or I recommend spray paint because you can get a nice even light coat on it, as opposed to if you try to just dab on a bunch of paint, like just on the whole wand. Maybe a little bit harder. I'm just letting you guys know, because it may seep into the wood more and blah 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 reasons explaining everything that's going on. So if you guys like this video, smash that like button, guys. Do me a favor, just pause the video. Don't even pause it. Just go down there, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get to the next one. These next few submissions are going to be my favorite submissions for this video. So kudos to the few of you that made it this far. This one was submitted by Chris, and just something about this wand that I really like. I like that you have it on a journal. I like to do that too. Take pictures on the journal. That's what I got. That's my little guy right here. It's my little journal. See, it says my name on it. It's right there. That's mine. That belongs to me. And I just something about it. I like the shape. I like how I like that little dip. I like that little dip right in the guard. Something, I like it. It's just it's not super refined. I would maybe add a little bit of depth to the actual the lighter part of the wood to just kind of give it a little bit more depth, so it doesn't look like it's not quite finished. Which that's the only downside that I see of it, is that it looks like slightly not finished, but I still really like it. I love the design. I think I would love to recreate that someday. Basically, my favorite designs, I'm always asking for your permission. Hey, if I feel like it, can I recreate your idea someday? And if you guys ever want to recreate any of mine, I mean, I would love to see them. So if you ever do that, I have no power over what you guys do. So, you know, you could always do that, but just submit them so that I could see what you guys made, you know, and I think that'd be cool. So a nice job, Chris, because just something about this wand, just hits me the right way. These next several wands were submitted by Roberto, and they are very cool ideas, but not very Harry Potter. But I want to show them off anyway because some of them are pretty dank. So these first 5 are just. I'm just gonna show you guys. Like, look at these. These are just like super cool. Like, I don't know. The bottom one is probably the best, the most Harry Potter-esque looking one, minus those thin little strands that look like they're just floating there. Minus that, it's pretty Harry Potter-esque. The rest of them, though, not so much. Maybe number 4 a little bit. The other ones are a little on the more maybe like World of Warcraft or medieval wizard something else. I don't know. And then these I feel like would be a little bit closer to the Harry Potter universe, especially that the green one is pretty nice. The brown one on the left is pretty cool as well. And then I mean, all 4 of them are great. That dark one with like the silvery bits, that one doesn't feel so much like a Harry Potter one, but the rest I could see making them work. I really like that that very twisty brown one to the right. It's pretty nice. The green one is very interesting. I maybe wouldn't make it green, but it's interesting. I would like to see it from a different angle as well to see where it is. But I just wanted to show off this, guys, because it's excellent artwork. Really good job. So nice job, Roberto.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
This is Diego's first wand he has ever made. Also, one of my favorites. I feel like for your first wand, you did the exact perfect thing. You probably started off with a dowel of some kind, and you just carved this simple design into it. This is in my favorites for today because the design is perfect. We got some rings on the handle and on the pommel, and it's just nice. What I would do from this point on is I would either put a little bit of burning on there, keep the burning light, maybe to just make the grain pop a little bit, or even just put like a walnut stain on it, and then a lacquer finish on top. Like I would go with a satin lacquer. Got it. And that's it. It's a nice, simple design. Maybe sand it a little bit in between coats just to kind of get the grain nice and smooth after you apply some sort of oil or something to it. When I say keep it simple, stupid, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the epitome of what I mean. This is a simple design. Diego decided, hey, I know I can make this, I'm gonna make it. And it's perfect. It's exactly what I feel like the design originally was. I would always rather have a extremely simple, perfect design over an extremely complicated design that doesn't look good and all the things don't mesh together. So kudos to you, Diego. This next one was submitted by Oscar from Spain. There's a specific reason that I chose this wand. And it's not because it's like, oh my God, this is the best wand I've ever seen. It's because you have your drawing, and from that drawing, you made the pretty much 99% accurate wand, real life wand version of it. And I love to see things like that because, one, sometimes it's hard to actually draw something that's in your skill level, that's going to be something that you can actually make. And I'm going to just say you nailed this one. It may not be the hardest, the craziest, the most amazing design I've ever seen, but you did a perfect job of recreating your original drawing. This one is the spotlight of today's video just because from design to wand, you nailed it. It was perfect. If I teach you guys one thing ever out of all my videos, is that just step out of your comfort zone, but don't push too hard. Because if you try to make something and it fails and you're not ready, especially if it's your first wand, you're gonna be upset. You're gonna not be happy unless you're like amazing and you can do it, which some of you are. Some of you can make whatever you want. Doesn't matter. But some of you, most of you, probably can't. So just make what you know you can make. Design something that is in your wheelhouse, that you know that is gonna be able to be transferred to wood and or whatever your medium is, and it's gonna work. Oscar from Spain, beautiful job, beautiful wand. Keep making wands. You did good, kid. And guys, that wraps it up for this wand review. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys stay tuned for some more stuff, more wand related things, other cool videos coming out soon, giveaways, whatever. You know what the channel is about. If you guys want to submit your wands to a future wand review, submit it to newwandsday@gmail.com. That's an email address. Just email your pictures to there. There's a couple of rules down below. I mentioned it earlier in the video, but I know you guys tend to not listen to me. Go check out those rules before you submit your pictures, all right? Just listen to me for once. Thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys are subscribed. And if you guys do want to go check out that Patreon, the link is at the end of the video and also down in the description. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, bye, bye.